Hi everybody, my name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach and I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse. So today I want to talk about people pleasing and self-abandonment. So we grew up in a society where we were told we have to say yes. We have to do everything for everyone else. And it's selfish to put ourselves first. Now, I'm all for helping people. This is my job. This is what I do. This is my passion. Do you know what I mean? Like, I will do absolutely anything for anyone else, and that's fine, but we have to start addressing, are we over pleasing for other people while self-sacrificing and self-abandoning our own needs and our own lives? We tend to say yes to everything because we've been bred that way. We're kind of like, if you have to do this for everyone else, and it's selfish to think of yourself. But this doesn't work. We need to fill our cups up first before we can actually help anyone else. And if we're giving too much time to other people's needs, this will slowly but surely deplete our energy, will drain our cup, and it will lead to even your cup shattering. And I'll explain that in a minute. I'll explain my experiences. But are you constantly running around trying to please other people? Is your life dictated by doing things, your duties, to other people? Ask yourself that. Are you actually living a life in alignment with what you want, or are you continuously running around after other people trying to fix their lives for them? Are you burnt out because of this? Ask yourself this. Are you constantly tired, stressed, anxious, worried about if you say no to people, if you don't do everything for them, that we'll retaliate? And this is the thing, when we do people please, the reason we do it is for kind of an internal a validation, in a sense. We think people will like us or approve of us if we do things for them. We're afraid to say no in case, what will they think? Or they think I'm being selfish. But you see, you cannot help anyone unless you help yourself first. You can't. You physically can't. And when we're going around people pleasing all the time, when we're constantly doing things for other people, this drains our energy. This depletes us. And then we have no time for ourselves and what we actually really want. And then when something does come into our lives that's different to this, our lives are consumed by running around after other people, running around doing their duty for them. So when something actually does come into your life that you actually want to do or that fulfills you, you're like, I can't do that because it's taken me away from my duties. Now ask yourself that. Is this new thing taking you away from your life or your duties? I don't know why I'm doing quotes there, but you get me. You're afraid to lose yourself. This is what, for me personally, the reason we end up people pleasing is due to past traumas and the traumas of other relationships. And we feel vulnerable. So we actually become codependent on doing things for other people because it makes us feel validated. And this in turn then will lead the other person to become codependent on us. So it's like both parties are codependent because that person depends on us for doing everything for them, but we're depending on them to fulfill that empty void within us because we have suffered other traumas with other relationships. And I found this as well. For me personally, when I was in an 8-year narcissistic relationship, I lost myself completely. So, and I've had other relationships where I lost myself again. So, I went through other traumas then around 2021, 2022, but I had to walk away from people and friends and stuff, and I became vulnerable again. So I ended up being a people pleaser towards my dad. So I did absolutely everything for him. I felt responsible to fix his life. And I actually ended up being so dependent on looking after him that I lost who I really was. I was I fear getting into a relationship again because I'm afraid to lose myself. But when you people please, you actually lose yourself even more. And that's the thing, right? After the 8-year narcissistic relationship, I had lost myself so completely, but I was unconscious of that until after the relationship. But the whole way through people pleasing with my dad and doing everything for him, I was conscious. I actually watched myself disappear. That's the scarier part. When we run around after everyone else, this is detrimental to our mental and physical well-being. And because I was already on my spiritual journey, I was actually conscious. I watched myself. I stood there and I watched myself disappear because I felt I had to fix his life. And that's the thing. You can't move forward if you're continuously trying to pull somebody else forward. And if they're not ready to come forward, you're there sacrificing yourself. You're abandoning yourself to try and fix them. And this will end up bringing you back down. This will end up leaving your life stagnant and leaving you going around in this vicious cycle. And this happened with a client as well, like where I allowed myself to be overtaken by the fact that I wanted to fix her, right? And like I was like, this is my job now, and this is what I have to do. I need to get a good outcome for her. But I ended up sacrificing my whole life. Morning, noon, and night, I was trying to fix them. And I was literally in a stagnant energy. I wasn't moving forward. My life wasn't progressing because I was stuck in this spot trying to pull them forward. And it got to the stage where I had abandoned myself so much that I started moving backwards. Not only was I stuck, I started moving backwards. And I started taking on that energy as well. I was burnt out, I was depleted, my mental and physical well-being was down. I had reached a certain point in my journey, but because I was trying to fix everyone else, I started taking on their energy and I started to go backwards. I started to go down further. And because of this, you don't have time for yourself. You don't have time to do the things that you want to do. You end up running around like you're working and then you're running around doing everything for everyone else, that by the time you actually do get time for yourself, you're ready to just crash because you're so depleted and you're so drained from running around after everyone else. Now, there's certain reasons why we do this. We do this because of, as I said, validation. But we do it because of our upbringing as well, and because we've been led to believe that we have to say yes to everything, that it's selfish to say no. But if you're not feeling well, if you haven't got the energy to do something, you have every right to say no. It's not selfish to choose yourself. It's not selfish to want your own time. It's not selfish to pursue things that you want to pursue. Ask yourself, are you living a life that you actually want to live, or are you living a life for other people? Like, that is the question you need to ask yourself. Are you authentically, happily living your best self? Or is everything you do for the benefit of everyone else? Because you're going to end up losing who you are and have no movement in your life, no opportunities come into your life because you're constantly asking yourself, can I do this or will it take me away from my duties? And ask yourself that. Are you actually doing things in your life for you? Or are you fulfilling duties for other people? And that's it. Are they duties? And are you preventing other things from entering your life because you're like, I can't lose myself to something else because it'll take me away from helping everyone else. Like, I'm all for helping people. This is why we're here on this planet, to care for others. But if we constantly go around doing things for other people, they will become dependent on us. And then if we did try to say no, they retaliate. Like, I got to the stage where I over people pleased with certain people that I actually had to walk away from them. When I tried to set boundaries, it didn't work. It got too far. And I'm not blaming that person because I became codependent on helping them as well. But I got to the stage where I had to walk away from my family unit, my dad, and some other friends because I had let myself go so completely to try and fix their lives that I had to just step away completely. So don't let it get to the stage where you're going to have to walk away, because when you become so much of a people pleaser, you are afraid to say no. You're afraid that they're going to retaliate. You keep silent about your own feelings. And that's the thing, you end up hiding stuff from these people because you're afraid to show your true self. You're afraid to show who you truly are because you're afraid that they will ridicule you for it, but they're like, you have to do this for me, or you have to do this for me, or, you can't do that because what about me? But that's selfish on their part, to expect you to do absolutely everything for them. And this is where the codependent behavior comes in, because they would become so dependent on you that if you did decide, I want a day off from doing your duties, that you're going to be the bad guy. You're going to be selfish. You're going to be, the wrong person here. And that's not fair. There's so much responsibility put onto us when we people please and when we try and do everything for everyone else. And then when we do try and set boundaries, we're the bad guys. I tried to set boundaries with my dad, and he accused me of having a mental disorder because I said I couldn't be around negative energy. Because, I had my life force energy, and that's the thing. My life force energy was sucked away from me. This is the thing with the people we people please for. They will become so dependent on our energy that they actually suck our life force energy out of us. And they need our energy then to survive. And that's not healthy for either party, because this will deplete you, but this will make them retaliate if you try to step away or try to set a boundary. And that's the thing, I was meant to feel guilty, I was meant to feel selfish for choosing myself. And that's what it is, it's choosing yourself. We're told we can't choose ourselves, we can't do this because we have to be something for other people. You know what I mean? And it's selfish to put yourself first. But how the heck are you supposed to help anyone if you can't help yourself first? My glass, my cup, it shattered. It didn't even go empty. It shattered. It took me nearly a full year to replenish that cup because I had given so much away to other people. Do you know what I mean? And I will still look after people. I will still do anything for anyone. But I would also ask myself, if I cannot do this, I have to say no. And back when I started to walk away from certain groups of friends, I had to listen to myself. I was going up there, and obviously because it was weird for me, because it's weird when you're setting boundaries, right? It's weird when you do this because you're so codependent yourself on the way your life has been, the way you've been living your life, that change of any kind is scary. It's like a comfort zone. It becomes your comfort zone because you get so used to it, because you get so codependent on it. So when you actually do start saying no and actually start listening to yourself, it can be scary, and it can be alien. It can be very, it's hard to say no to those people because they're going to retaliate, but it's also hard to change your life, your comfort zone. It's hard to break out of that. And I remember initially when I started, the first time, I think it was the first time, I'd start saying no to going to parties and going to birthdays and New Year's. I had to choose one year not to actually spend New Year's with my friends because I'd been getting the guidance that this was no longer in alignment with my soul. And on that New Year's, I was so, initially normally I'd be so excited to go up there and to spend New Year's with my friends. But I started to get aches in my tummy. I started to get this fear in me. I started to feel very uncomfortable. And this is when I started to listen to my body and started to listen to what my body was saying to me. It was telling me I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to go. And I had to say no to that. And I genuinely, my tummy didn't stop. I had to do a meditation that night to release the trapped emotions within me. And I discovered that my body was retaliating. My body was reacting to me not listening to it, to me people pleasing. So ask yourself that. Are you burnt out? Are you starting to feel ill mentally and physically? Because this means that your body is trying to tell you you're doing something that's not in accordance or in alignment with your soul. This is because your body is screaming, your soul is screaming at you and giving you messages through your body to wake the fuck up. Like, you can't run around being everything for everyone else and losing yourself completely to that. And that's what you're doing. You think that because they're family and friends and that you're obligated to help them, that it's your responsibility to help them, and you can't say no to them because they're your family. But you have to start listening to what your body is telling you. If you're wrecked, tired all the time, and if you have no time for yourself, this is your body screaming at you, your soul screaming at you through your body to wake up. Start listening to that. Start listening to your mind. If you're starting to feel agitated, ill at ease, if your mental health starts to, if you're feeling stressed and anxious because you're worried that you won't get this done for these people, this is your soul telling you that you have to start listening to yourself and start putting yourself first. Start doing things for you. What do you want to do? Are you spending your time listening to yourself and what you want to do? Or are you spending your time fulfilling duties for other people? Now, I wrote a few things down here just to do with the people pleasing. And if these resonate with you, start to ask yourself, are you actually over putting yourself out there for other people, or are you doing stuff in accordance with your life? Do you keep quiet about your own needs and your own feelings for fear of, I suppose, upsetting the status quo? Do you put others' needs before your own? This can actually turn into a vicious cycle. It can turn into an overinvestment or an obsession with helping others. And it's a way of seeking approval, a way of seeking validation. And this happens because we have suffered trauma in the past. And it makes us more kind of codependent. It makes us more vulnerable. So as a way of this still comes down to your inner child at the end of the day. And, because of the trauma we might have faced in past relationships, we become more vulnerable. So then we can, this kind of happens as well. If you break out of a relationship and you move back home, or say, for me, I had to walk away from friends, and I ended up, I suppose, compensating for that by needing my dad a little bit more. And I ended up visiting him a little bit extra. And then I ended up people-pleasing to him more as a way of codependency, as a way of comfort in a sense, because I felt so upset because I'd lost my friends. And this ended up becoming an unhealthy codependent dynamic with the two of us. He became codependent on me, but I became codependent on fixing him. And then I lost myself so completely. And as I said, after my 8-year narcissistic relationship, I lost myself completely, but I was unconscious of it. After a year and a half of becoming over people-pleasing to my dad, I abandoned myself so much. I lost myself so completely. My physical and mental health deteriorated, but I was conscious of it. I actually watched myself deplete. And it was only at the very end that I just said to myself, I'm going to die. Effectively, my soul is going to die if I do not wake up now and start to set boundaries. I tried to set boundaries, didn't work, so I actually walked away completely. So ask yourself, is this happening to you? And are you finding it hard to keep everyone happy? Is it causing you stress and anxiety, running around after other people, and then you're kind of going, oh my God, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, and I don't have enough time to do this? Is it causing you that kind of pain and anxiety within you? Is it affecting your mental health? Ask yourself this, because if this is happening, then you're people-pleasing. You're not looking after your own needs. You're self-sacrificing your own health for other people. And when people do become codependent on your energy, they will suck the life force energy out of you, and they actually start to become less grateful because they expect it of you. And if you don't do it, you're wrong. You're selfish. So these people start to get greedy for your energy, greedy for you doing everything about them. So that's the thing, we think we're doing a good thing by helping others so much, but it's detrimental to their well-being as well, because they're becoming codependent on us. They're using us and not able to, like, we all need to have our own independence. Like, you know, we think that just because our parents looked after us when we were kids, that it's our responsibility now to do everything for them. I'm sorry, but no, it's not. I'm all for looking after your parents, grand, but you cannot look after anyone if you don't put yourself first. You're not going to be marrying your parents and spending the rest of your life with your parents. Your life is yours to live. You have to pursue your life. You know, this is it. Like, your life is your responsibility. You can't live that if you're constantly given to other people. Like, you need to set those boundaries. I'm not, like, people are going to tell me I'm selfish now for saying don't help others. I love helping people. This is my passion. This is my dream, to help other people. But I have nearly killed myself from over pleasing. Do you know what I mean? Don't lose yourself. You need to fill your cup up first to be able to help other people. This is it. You need to put yourself first. Be selfish so that you can be selfless. You have to put yourself number one, because if you don't, you can't help anyone else. You have to ask yourself, how is this affecting my energy? How is this affecting my physical and mental health? You can do anything you want for other people only if you are at that 100% yourself. Fill your cup up and then you can help others. But then fill your cup up again. Then help again. Fill again, help again. But if you're constantly giving, and your cup is depleting, you will end up burning out so completely that you will not be able to help anybody. And this is how scary it is. And this is why I'm getting so upset, is because when I had to walk away from my dad, I was nearly gone. My whole being, my soul, my essence, myself, I was gone completely. And I was conscious of this and I didn't know how to get out of it. I had to make the hardest decision of my life, to walk away from my dad, my family, because I was gone so completely. So don't let it get that far. Don't abandon yourself and sacrifice yourself so much that you actually have to cut these people off. Set the boundaries now and start putting yourself first and giving yourself that time. Because this is so important. If you want to continue to have these people in your life, then set those boundaries now and start looking after yourself. So are you the person who always says yes? Do you feel guilty for wanting to say no? Are you worried what others will think of you if you say no? This can also lead to kind of internal resentment. You're starting to resent that other person from taking away so much of your time. And you feel like saying yes is going to win approval. It's going to give you validation. This can lead you end up struggling then to be honest about your own feelings and what you really want. So you actually ignore that inner voice. You actually ignore what you really want. You're ignoring what is actually making you happy for the benefit of other people. This will actually lead to low self-esteem. Do you find you always say sorry to other people even though you've done nothing wrong? Do you take the blame for things even though you've not done nothing wrong? Are you sensitive to rejection? And do you ever take time for yourself, to actually pause and take time for yourself? Like, if you're running around doing everything for everyone else and then you get home late at night and then you just crash, this is not me time. This is having zero time for yourself. What do you do to actually enjoy your space, your time? What do you do for you? There's a few other things here now. Like, you end up ignoring parts of yourself. You deny your inner knowing. You deny that voice in your head. You have to start setting boundaries. So like, that's the thing. This can lead to burnout. And a question your reality, really, because the more we try and do everything for everyone else, the more we lose ourselves. The more we abandon ourselves. So figure it out. Like, are you living a life that is fulfilling to you? Or are you living a life fulfilling the duties and the lives of other people around you? Ask yourself this. Are you preventing different opportunities, stuff that you want coming into your life, because you're saying, I can't do this now because it will take me away from everything else that I have to do? But ask yourself, are you doing these things for yourself, or are you doing duties? Are you preventing yourself from having happiness, fulfillment in your life, doing things that you want to do, because it will take you away from doing the things for other people? Be mindful of that. Ask yourself that. Are you abandoning yourself? Are you self-sacrificing your wants and your needs for the beneficial of other people? Fill your cup up first. Set those boundaries. Do stuff for you. Don't be running around after other people and burning out. You can still help others, but you need to help yourself first. Just ask yourself, are you living a life in accordance with your soul, in alignment with your soul? Or are you living a life trying to fix everyone else? Because you are losing yourself to these people. Do something for you. Take some me time. Do what you want to do. Do something that makes you feel alive instead of something that depletes your energy. Stop running around after other people and give yourself some time to even just be. Just have a few hours to yourself and relax and replenish your energy. Do stuff that you want to do. Don't be running around self-sacrificing for other people. Be selfish to be selfless, because you deserve to have a life that you're happy with. Not a life that is being sucked away from you by trying to please other people. Look after yourself. Let those opportunities into your life. Something new comes into your life, grab it with both hands and fuck everyone else. I'm sorry, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, come on, you're sacrificing your own happiness, your own future, by being stuck and stagnant, helping people that aren't even grateful for it. They're using you. And that sounds bad, especially when it comes to your family members, but your life is yours. Don't be sacrificing this opportunity or the happiness that you deserve because you think you're doing the right thing by sacrificing yourself and abandoning yourself to other people. Say no. Just say no. If you're not able to do something, it's more than okay to say no. Just say no. Seriously, it's hard. It's hard to break out of that cycle, and it is a vicious cycle. But there's so much magic when you break out of that. When you break out of people-pleasing habits, you have to put your needs first. And then you can do anything you want for other people. But you can't help others if your cup is empty. And you definitely can't help others if you let your cup shatter completely. And that's what I did by people-pleasing. I sacrificed my life. I became stagnant. I became stuck. I lost every part of who I was. My mental and physical health deteriorated because I was trying to fix other people instead of fixing myself first. So look after you and choose yourself. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I would love nothing more than to help you on your path. Thanks again. Bye-bye.